Welcome back to Overkill Reviews for the final review of 2016. And I'm ending the year with something completely different. Over the past week, you've been sending me your favorite albums of 2016 that I have not yet reviewed. And we painstakingly went through every single comment, tallied them up. And so here we go. Here's the Forgotten 5 of 2016. The album that came in at number 5 is the brand new record from Avenged Sevenfold called The Stage. Many of you know this band. They've been around since '99, formed in California. This is their 7th studio album, and it's their first concept record about artificial intelligence. Here's a clip from the song Goddamn. Okay, first off, full disclosure. I have never, prior to The Stage, listened to a full Avenged Sevenfold record, and I will fully admit, kind of wrote this band off as a bit of a mainstream construction, if you will, of the LA metal scene. And you know what? I was surprised. It sounds like Axl Rose and Megadeth and Mr. Bungle made some strange baby and called it Avenged Sevenfold. And from what I've been reading online, this record is far more progressive than their previous releases. One minute it sounds like Motley Crue, the next minute it reminded me of Nevermore, and frankly, there's a lot of great songwriting on this record. There's a lot of vocal. You gotta love M. Shadow's voice to dig into this record. It's really up front in the mix, and the album is pasted wall to wall with vocals. Also, we could argue it's mildly schizophrenic. They try to cram a lot of ideas into some small spaces sometimes, but at the end of the day, strong songwriting. It's a memorable record, mainstream or not. It's a solid one. So 3.5 out of 5 skulls. The 4th best unreviewed metal album of 2016, as voted by you, comes from the Devintownsend project, and the album is called Transcendence. Welcome to the Metal Church. Devintownsend, as many of you know, is the Canadian metaler that founded the extreme metal band Strapping Young Lad. He's created several solo albums, and Transcendence is the 7th record with the Devintownsend project. For fans of Devin, this is straight in the center of the dartboard. Big, lush, epic, massive production, all those hallmarks of Devin sound are right here on Transcendence. This is metal at its most luscious, its most dreamy. It's kind of like the metal equivalent of soaking in a giant bath of ecstasy. There's really not much to fault Devin for on this record. Good songwriting, giant production, as usual. Really, my only criticism is it's kind of a lot of the same thing. There's not as much diversity from track to track as maybe previous Devin records or records within metal at large. So, 4 out of 5 skulls. Let's move on. Coming in at number 3 is something completely different. If Devintownsend was the mighty church hall, this is coming from the coldest, darkest cabin on a Norwegian mountaintop. And within This, of course, is the 16th studio album from Norway's Darkthrone, called Arctic Thunder. Darkthrone, of course, part of the first wave of Norwegian black metal. They formed in 1986. And this marks a defiant return of Darkthrone to their true Norwegian black metal roots. This sounds like a rehearsal tape. There's literally next to no production on this record. It's super lo-fi. It sounds like the drums are being played right next to you. And you know what? I love it. It brings me back to Morbid Tales and the early records of Venom and even Hellhammer, Bathory, the list goes on and on and on. And in the day of big production and super Pro Tools produced records, this is a refreshing change. Well done on your 16th record, Fenris and Nocturno Culto. 4 out of 5 skulls. Let's go to the next one. Coming in at number 2 of the Forgotten 5 metal albums of 2016, as voted by you, is the new album by Dark Tranquillity, called Atoma.
Right now, right here, we stand alone. Against pitiless indifference, we stand alone.
Dark Tranquillity, of course, are one of the original Gothenburg melodic death metal bands. This is their 11th studio album, and arguably they are the most consistently sounding bands from this early generation of Swedish bands. They've certainly held their ground more than, say, an In Flames or an At the Gates. And this album is going to be pretty reliable fare for fans of Dark Tranquillity. It's got that melodic guitar approach over top of a death metal production, albeit a fairly clean death metal production. And of course, there's a lot of keys sprinkled in there as well, which of course divides a lot of fans. Now, I know a lot of you love this record and put a lot of votes in, but for me, it just didn't do much for me. I felt that the songs were really same, albeit consistent. There was not a lot of variation in tempos or feel, and I really felt that the production had this very kind of washy, almost beige feeling to it. There was no visceral quality to this record, and I really wasn't left with anything terribly memorable. So, 2 out of 5 skulls. Let's go to number 1. And so here we are, the moment you've all been waiting for. The number 1 unreviewed metal album of 2016 as voted by you, viewers and subscribers of Banger TV, comes from Insomnium. That clip is from Insomnium's latest album called Winter's Gate. The band, of course, hails from Finland, and this is their 7th studio album. And for many people, they are now the leaders of melodic Finnish death metal. What sets this album apart from Insomnium's previous releases is its one song called Winter's Gate, parts 1 through 7. So this really is one big melodic death metal epic journey. There's lots of keys here, lots of blast beats, and apparently the album tells the story of a great tale of Vikings departing from the west coast of Ireland many, many years ago. Now, what's my opinion? Well, this is not a perfect record and by no means my favorite metal album of 2016, but it is a damn good record. It reminds me a lot of other Finnish melodic death metal. I'm thinking Winter Sun, I'm thinking Keep of Callison from Norway, and even some early Children of Bodom, and also fans of Sweden's Amon Amarth will like this record too. What I noticed about it is it's really less about the riff. It's more about the atmosphere and the storytelling. So for those of you that crave some memorable riffs in your metal mix, this is not an album for you. But if you want to sit back and immerse yourself in a very sort of ethereal yet extreme and brutal soundtrack, you're going to love this record. And so while I thought Winter's Gate was a strong record, I didn't think it was a particularly original record. Roughly halfway through, I began to feel like I'd heard a lot of these ideas before, either in previous Insomnium releases or from some of their Finnish metal counterparts. So, 4 out of 5 skulls, and I want to thank everyone for sending in their comments and sending in their votes. I got to dig into a few metal albums that I kind of missed out on. We'll see you next year on Overkill Reviews.